This was the scene inside Wandsworth Prison today. The Home Office were keen to show it working normally, despite hundreds of Metropolitan Police guarding inmates in place of prison officers. They were called in 10 days ago after 290 warders were suspended by the prison governor for refusing to work new shift patterns. Now the dispute's been settled, the Met are expected to hand back control to prison officers tomorrow morning. The prison say inmates have been getting their daily exercise, but we were stopped from talking to prisoners themselves. One shouted to us that they were having to exercise in their cells.
We don't get gym, we have to do it in the cell.
The atmosphere inside the jail was calm. While we were shown prisoners having haircuts and attending their daily workshop, it's clear only mass policing is making it possible. This morning there were 324 police guarding 1,500 inmates. That's more than twice the number of prison officers who would normally be on duty. Labour politicians have criticised the Home Office for allowing police inside the prison. They say they're untrained and should be fighting crime on London's streets. Tomorrow, Wandsworth's own prison officers are due to return to work. They're expected to get a warm welcome from inmates, many of whom have resented being guarded by the very same people responsible for sending them to jail. This is Mike Pearce at Wandsworth Prison for Thames News.
Today, the police presence was increased from 200 to 300 officers as tension inside the jail mounted. Visits were permitted, but prisoners have spent most of their time locked in cells without their usual exercise. There have been no serious incidents today, but police reported a series of minor clashes.
It's tense, but controlled. We are in control in there. But there is a degree of tension, and there are odd incidents happening from time to time.
And what's the mood among your officers?
Good. The morale is high. They are doing a job, as I said yesterday, they are not trained for, and they're doing it as well as they can.
The prison officers insist this is a dispute about safety, not just pay and perks. They've been suspended for refusing to work new shift patterns which they claim would leave the overcrowded prison dangerously undermanned. Wandsworth Jail was designed for 900 inmates but currently holds around 1,500. Prison staff say a compromise would threaten safety.
We have no compromise to make. It is the governor, in this case, who is in error, and he is the man who has to take one step back and reconsider his position.
There's not much change in that stance, I must say. There hasn't been any room for discussion or compromise since I arrived.
Prison officials admit more staff are needed, but insist the new shift patterns would be safe. They have accused staff of failing to respond to lengthy consultation. As talks began this afternoon in a bid to break the deadlock, both sides spoke of a desire for peace, but the Home Office said it would stand firm.
Oh, we can go on as long as we have to. We hope that the prison officers will return and obey the governor's instructions. You simply can't run prisons by committee.
The critical question now is whether or not the prison can survive this crisis without serious incident. This is Teresa Driscoll for
This side, Adrian.
Officers at Wandsworth have been refusing any more prisoners for 12 weeks now in the row over alleged overcrowding and undermanning. This morning, despite threats of imminent suspension, they voted to stand firm. About now, they're being addressed by the prison governor. His verbal warning of suspension will be followed by a written one this afternoon. Officers who then refuse to resume normal working will be formally warned and then sent home. The Prison Officers Association meet this afternoon. They're likely to react angrily to any suspensions. That could mean a national ballot and nationwide industrial action.
Prison officers at Wandsworth have taken a tough stance over manning levels since the outset of the dispute. Now, despite threats of suspension, they appear more determined than ever to maintain their position of refusing to accept new inmates. The officers are demanding what they call minimum safety levels of staff at weekends. And they want negotiations over the government's Fresh Start package, due to be introduced next month, under which overtime is exchanged for guaranteed pay levels. There are currently 1,270 inmates at Wandsworth, many long-term and what are classed as difficult prisoners. The Home Office want this increased to more than 1,500. Officers at the jail say they are prepared to negotiate, but claim the Home Office is determined to isolate them because of their tough stance.
Now, the strange thing for us is that Wandsworth has never been offered a deal by the department, and they tell us they're not going to talk to us all the time we're on industrial action. Now, it's very strange that they were talking to other establishments who were equally engaged in the similar course of action that we are currently embarked upon at the moment. So we see that their tactic is an isolation tactic.